Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee Convo Radio. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Let's just sit back and get our favorite cup of coffee and calm down, because our reality has changed dramatically, even the last 2 days, according to the account. But just sit back, relax, and I haven't done this one so long. It's been a while. First one out of the gate in 2026. Let's just get on into it. Thank y'all so very much for being back here with us on the Visual Disturbance channel. I'm your host, Brian Reese, and we are back here once again. And guess what, folks? It's 2026. It's our first Coffee Combo radio show that we've done in probably like a year or so. So welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all so very much. This broadcast is going to be literally about you guys. So we're going to be doing some chat interaction. And just good day to you guys. And we're going to be talking about specific topics and talk about some things that just come off the, let's just say, off the news press. And if you're just now tuning in, you've never been on a coffee convo, get your favorite cup of coffee. Well, this is drive-through coffee, but hello. Somebody took me through the drive-through today and we got some coffee. Coffee with a smile. Coffee Combo radio show. But usually, folks, we usually do a program that's very comprehensive or informative. We talk about a lot of conspiracies, a lot of controversial topics here on the channel. But today, like I said, if you want to engage in the chat, I will be looking at the chat. It'll be up on the screen for everybody to view. It's your viewing pleasure. And we're going to engage with the chat and talk about what the heck is going on with our reality. So if you're just now tuning in, thank y'all so very much. Hit the links in the description box. Thank you so very much for being on this improv broadcast here on the visual disturbance side of things. And I have one question for you guys. Are you guys visually disturbed? Are you guys visually disturbed the way the world is being done into a direction of insanity? And that's a good way to articulate it, right? Am I wrong? Maybe. Well, like I said, get your favorite cup of coffee, and guess what, folks? You're even going to get I'm not trying to make this up. I've got a plate of food I will be eating, thanks to my lovely wife. So you gotta eat. You gotta eat when you can. So welcome to Coffee Combo. I think the only other time I've ever ate on a coffee combo when I was eating cupcakes. No joke, folks. But yeah, this is not about me. It's about you guys. So just interaction, broadcast here on the Visual Disturbance channel. So with that being said, thank y'all so very much for being here. Welcome to you and good day for Friday. The chat's on the screen, folks. The chat's on the screen. We're going to be talking about it. But let's just get the party started here. I got some informative information to talk to you guys about. Let's get the party started. So hit me up in the chat. It'll probably make it a little bit easier for me if y'all would capitalize. If you want to ask a question, capitalize it in all capitalized letters. And we're going to talk about this insanity. Let's just go ahead and pop it off. Let's just go ahead and go down that rabbit hole. So we all know when it comes to biblical understanding or narratives throughout the past that have came and gone. In the future, not so far distant future, we're going to be talking about this UFO phenomenon in very complexity of detail. I'm going to talk about an event that goes back to antiquity, way back in the day. And we're going to be talking about Egypt. And look for that broadcast in the near future right here at Visual Disturbance. So stay tuned for that. When it pops up, get the notification, all that good stuff. We're going to be talking about Egypt and this UFO phenomenon. So let's just go ahead and set this thing up into the atmosphere. As you all know, yesterday was supposedly this great revealing. And I put a post on Facebook, literally like right after it happened, talking about the UFO disclosure. And we've talked about this in extensive detail on the channel. We've revealed documents, 3-letter agency documents. We talked about things that go bump in the night when it comes to ufology. We talked about UFO phenomenon. And I made a post last night on Facebook. Don't I get some type of credit? I even made the commentary I needed a different position or title to be able to get some, I guess, credibility, right? When you talk about the Vimanas, the Orphanas, the Ephas, saucers, cylinder-shaped objects, things that the Bible talks about extensively. But people be like, no, Brian, that doesn't exist. The words are different, folks. Translations are different, but throughout antiquity, they was named different names. Even as we sit here today, there's a name called a name that goes back to biblical and then back to the days of old, the days of Noah. It's just so easy. Translations of English language, etc. Things are very strange indeed. So yeah, Mr. T yesterday had some interest in this. It's just awful timing on it. The timing on it could not be more telling, right? Mr. T, based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the security of war. What I wanted to point that out, folks, I've got some information to talk about with Egypt back in the day. So we're going to be talking about that on a, literally, News is Not For Everybody, or maybe a Daily What Ifs program if you're just now tuned to the broadcast. If you've never been to Visual Disturbance, we do a lot of Daily What Ifs and News is Not For Everybody shows. So welcome to the Coffee Combo with a smile. Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, gotta love that name, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs. Mr. T. Well, like I said, not trying to take credit, I'm just a good old boy from the bluegrass state that lives in the hollers of Kentucky that can barely articulate the words and pronunciations of, let's just say, advanced terminology. Joking. I'm kind of poking fun of myself. Like I said, what now? Why now? Based off the tremendous interest. Tremendous interest in what? It's kind of stale to me. I have a right to my opinion. I'm a little stale. It's a little stale. Salty cracker stale. It's not feeling good. This experience in this so-called drip-drop shop is not really doing too well. No negativity toward Mr. T whatsoever in anything. I'm just saying the dripping drop slop is not feeling too good right now. Especially when you talk about the Vimana, the ancient days of antiquity. We can sit here and literally speculate all day long and fight that fight of like, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I seen that. Well, yeah, I'm not going to say anybody out there that's not credible. But what can we do when these things are hovering over our skies? And then you have to ask yourself another question. Are they interdimensional? A lot of people out there are like, yeah, they're interdimensional. Well, I agree with that. I'm not scoffing in whatsoever shape or form. I don't have an opinion. I have an only, I can dig into the closet of archives and be open-minded in the conversation and not be standoffish. That's the problem with folks today in this day and times. Everybody is standoffish with their knowledge. Get you a little swig of water and some coffee on the side here. So, somebody in the chat, Army Lady, the UFO demon disclosure. Well, folks, I'd have to agree with that 100,000%. But I want to pinpoint departments and agencies. You can go back and you listen to the whistleblowers. You listen to all these people out there in the airwaves. People are talking about technology from the 1800s when these companies, I'm not going to mention the companies, but, well, yeah, I might. We'll be kind about it. Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. Not only mention a bunch more, there's other space agencies that are secretly disclosed to the public. Or excuse me, let's just say not even revealed to the public. And hopefully it'll get disclosed here soon with this unidentified aerial phenomenon. So a sound mind person, when it comes to humanity, this makes you test your mind, test your spirit, right? And test the spirits that are conjuring up all this insanity. So we have to ask ourselves, where are we at with the humanity, the species that they say that we are, that we're just, well, didn't they say containers? At one time, there was an individual named Bob Lazar talking about containers. Are they cultivating and mapping out our neural pathways and feeding us full of, let's just say, nonsensical knowledge to build up a narrative? Is that what these powers that be are? Oh, wait, Brian, is there aliens? And, oh, I'm sorry, where's there giants? Oh, there's no such thing. Is there such thing as angels? No, there's no such thing. Well, back in the day, that's what they would say. Angels and demons. They would even preach at the pulpits about this topic. But then something changed in the 1800s. These certain companies had technology to advance. Seriously. Advance people. Archaeology, like literally, I said archaeology. Welcome to Coffee Combo. Agriculture to enhance the human experience back then. Make it easier. But they didn't. They held back that technology. That's admitted. So, with these certain files that just dropped the last month, and everybody's in like limbo land and having psychological warfare 24/7, they dropped this yesterday. And I'm not really going to talk about it much. Yeah, I am. Maybe a little bit. Maybe. Well, we might as well. We're already too deep in, right? We're already too deep in the coffee combo. Too far down the rabbit hole. Well, you have to ask yourself a question. Why? Why now? Well, I'm going to tune into the chat real quick and let you guys pinpoint what you guys think. Craig Hayden. Is the UFOs a distraction from the E-files? Hard to tell. Huh. That's a good question. Well, here's a question for you, Craig. What if they all are together? What if that's why some of those documentations, not only are they diabolical and evil, what if those files are literally intertwined? Think about that, folks. No disrespect to anybody on the chat here. Yes, I'm chewing on a very healthy meal that my wife prepared for me, and I have to eat it because the timing on it could not be no worse. But I try to eat as healthy as I possibly can, considering my health infirmities and all that. So, sorry about that, to be rude on the Coffee Combo. So it's not your traditional Coffee Combo broadcast. We've done this in the past. If you're just now tuning in, subscribe, hit that like button. Welcome to the Visual Disturbance land. But yeah, Craig, I think they're intertwined. Cookie Lady, yeah. I thought human is let me read it. I thought human is an evolution word. Does the Bible use it? Or does it say mankind? Haha, I love it. Mankind. I've never heard, when you look at the narrative, the biblical narrative, and you think about how they put us in, let's just say, disarray and constantly drive us into narratives that destroy the human psyche. And I will say this, nothing against Mr. T whatsoever, not so ever at all. I have this theory, trauma, fear, speculation, looking at ancient documents, looking at stuff that happened in the 1900s, all these projects that man has, Project Gateway, Project Hearsay, Project Pegasus, Project everything, Project Stargate, right? Those was literally, they use, let's just say, barbaric means to break the brain waves of the psychic abilities of humanity. I asked myself recently if this could happen on a larger scale. Okay? Literally, could it be that we have powers that be that go back to antiquity that are waking up and causing disruptions in our world and our reality. Not making this up, folks. This just happened recently. Well, actually, today. It was kind of telling because it just fits what we're going to be talking about here on this coffee combo. Let me pull it up for you folks. This one was pretty surreal to me. I couldn't believe it. And this is literally just not that long ago, like hot off the press type of thing. And thank you, Cheryl, for the super chat. God bless you. Check this out, folks. Spike in earth vibrations could be scrambling brains with bizarre ringing noise. And then it goes on. A weather watchdog has reported on an uptick in Earth's hum-like heartbeat, raising concerns that it could be affecting people's brains, according to the New York reports. Could I be reaching too far here? Could there be something that could be literally fragmenting our brains, like frequency antennas? Could it be too far fetched? I've heard people anywhere out there, if you're dealing with this type of diabolical thing where you got fogginess in your brain, you can't articulate wording properly and stuff that you've been very well versed in, could speak very fluent English and everything, and now it's like the world is against you. You feel this heaviness on your chest and your brain's so overloaded that you can't even make sense of things. I've been there, folks, and I stay there sometimes because of this visual issue. Sometimes there's days where I can barely bear it. Not because of any kind of like, let's just say news. I'm talking about physically, something I've been dealing with for a long time. So I can only imagine somebody that is hearing this news now, hearing this stuff that is diabolical, UFO phenomenon, human you know what, and all these things with the E-files. I can only imagine how disrupting that would be in your mind. Oh my God. I can understand how bad it could be. So this bizarre ringing noise, right? You know what's so interesting to me and everybody out there? I've been hearing ringing in my ears for a long time. So, it goes back to what I just said earlier. Could there be something that is coming, or it's already here, and we're being manipulated into a reality to understand that there's these aliens, or could it be that we've been gurgitated to so much on the media and so much on the television that it's wanting us to say, forgive me for, I'm going to be sounding mocking here a little bit. Humans bad. Angels good. Aliens good. Demons good. Humans bad. Right? Just think about what I'm saying on a psychological path as far as the application to this. And then meanwhile, we're sitting here waiting for some big event. Something that's going to be changing or resetting or, cognitively consciousness of humanity altering and coming to an altered state with the advancements of technology. Remember, the word war. Remember, when you have spiritual applications, spiritual things upon in the sky, the airwaves, that open up on let's just say, the summer equinox, the winter, the summer solstice, and all these things. There's strategically a time, a clock, something to do with astronomy, so astrology, all these things. You can tie it all in together. And everybody's like, well, Brian, how can you do that? Well, we have learned to make ourselves dumber because we've been listening to people that have cognitively been persuading us one way and then sending us into another way. And it causes us to fear, causes us to have anxiety. But then when you see this, what is really going on in our skies? What is really going on on our Earth? People are communicating in some shape or form and saying we need to sync up. You know what's interesting to me? I wasn't even going to mention this. There's a broadcast I've done in the past with the Bermuda Triangle. We talked about it, extensive research on that. I haven't done one for a long period of time. Well, I want to tell you guys something that just blew my mind the other day. And I watched it. I watched the first season, I think, or the second season, but me and my wife were trying to watch it. The TV show Manifest. 2018 when that TV show came out. And the wording in that TV series. The new normal is what they use. Or you're not going back to normal. Or they'll, obviously use the word manifest. And it's like 2018, the new normal. And they will use terminology like resetting, the great reset. They use these terms. It's like trigger words, and back then you wouldn't even thought about it. Interesting, right? So, human consciousness is on a level of like I said on the channel, it's all about he says, she says. And who's controlling the powers that be, and who's controlling the top of that. Cosmic clearance, where does that level go? How high does it go? They say 12 or 13 levels. Cosmic clearance, generals. I've heard everything under the sun. And a lot of people are like, where's the proof? Well, that's the question. There's puzzle pieces that you can like look down the rabbit hole. You can cognitively put together. You can formulate something like they did on the Manifest show in some type of like huge map or whatever you want to coordinate and combine the power of what I'm saying AI or whatever to enhance your abilities of human consciousness, right? But then we have this bizarre stuff going on. Literally, as the dropping of the UFO phenomenon, now we got this large, bizarre ringing noise. So what the heck is going on, folks? Seriously, where are we at? What kind of world are we living in? It's insane. It's just pure insane. And let me see here. Question. Let's see here. Nobody's here now. Good seeing you. Everything is connected. That's something else they would say in the Manifest movie or TV show. Everything's connected. It's just interesting. Interesting. Cherokee Tree I can't even say that. You made me laugh. Thank you, Cherokee Tree. I can't even say that right now. Project Mind Control. I just went back and looked some of them. Yeah, the Schumann Resonance. Yes, I know the Schumann Resonance, and I agree with that. I think that's what that is coordinating with what we just showed about the ringing, about the humming. It's strange times. So all these things are literally focalizing onto one point of entry. Really, focalizing. And it's going to the trajectory of foolishness in some case or form. It's very frustrating. There's a lot of laughing emojis on here, and I'm trying to be very serious. Why so serious, Brian? Why so serious? Tim Morrison says everything is connected to either for evil or good. You can wrap it up in one big package. That is 100% correct. You can use things for good. You can use things for evil, like we've said many times here on the channel. Evil people drive vehicles. Good people drive vehicles too. So think about what a Vimana or a craft or whatever you want to call it that they're formulating in the airways or whatever they have in military facilities that's going under 150,000 square feet of 100,000 miles of this way and 150,000 miles in a secret bunker. There's always something somebody's saying. And I've never seen a receipt, but because, like I said earlier, there's clearance issues here. Clearance issues, and I get that. So I just want to throw something back in time. And I seen this on X today, and it's interesting. This is posted and published on January the 13th, 2014. I'll let you guys out there look at this and speculate while I take a bite out of some food here. Yes, it's rude, and I apologize. It really wasn't intended. I'm not making this up. It's not for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. So Iran says tall white space aliens control America. Published January 13th, 2014. 12 years ago. Huh. Imagine that. 12 years ago. Huh. Is there something going on over there right now? Huh. Iran? Huh. There's something going on up in that space, up in there, sending all them things up in there. You know what I mean? Come on. Got a lot of military application, military equipment, everything that's been out there, and I'm not going to go into any further detail, but it's kind of ironic that this is 12 years ago, and Iran says tall white space aliens control America. Kind of makes me think when I looked at some of the material with the Indian mounds and the culture when it comes to the indigenous people and the Native American culture, talking about that they would talk to really tall white folks and get their knowledge about literally the cosmological stance, the cosmos. maybe those days of old, they was doing TikTok, social media platforms back then. Maybe they just had some secret space programs back then too. Maybe they had the black scryer mirrors that we have today. Joking, folks. You know, when you think about the Native American culture and the indigenous culture, they have no reason to lie. That's the problem. They was not, let's just say, driven and putting the wrong things in the brain. And when they seen something, they articulated the best of their ability to put it on either concrete, granite. I said concrete, but granite, anything to do with cow skin or whatever they had to do to write it down as a documentation. So, isn't that interesting that you can go look that up? The Native American culture talk about these tall white entities. And if you go a little bit deeper and further down the rabbit hole, they talk about shapeshifters that directly tie back to the Nunahi. We talked about that many times on the channel. So, if you go back in time, in January 13th in 2014, Iran says tall white space aliens control America. Huh. I just want to throw it in there for 2 cents. No extra charge here on the Coffee Combo Radio. How much more bizarro can we get? How much more biblical can we get? The biblical narrative is really screaming off the page when it comes to this topic. Yeah, crazy times, right? Crazy times indeed. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So, not only do we have this mess, we have this mess. I'm going to say what I can cover here because I still watch what I say here on the channel and the YouTube policies, but I am going to put it up here. This happened today. Let's just say first name basis here. Carl was a scientist who had discovered water on a distant planet. Planetae, I'm sorry, I said that. And something happened to him, unfortunately, and God rest his soul. And you can see on the screen there in Los Angeles. At the time of his death, he was conducting research on comets, asteroids, and potential dangerous to Earth. So you have to ask yourself a question. What did this man know? And when you look at the things, when the biblical cosmology, even though heliocentric, there's these terrain, water biomes. I've heard everything under the sun. They talk about Atlantean technology, and we have these dome-like structures that go all across the airways and across the, according to the Admiral Byrd event, that we had continents is way beyond our pay grade of understanding here. The continents is bigger than the size of the United States. And is this what Mr. Carl's referring to? Did they find primary water back there in the backwoods over in some other continent that's not registered on our map? Say it's not so. Say it's not so. It's just weird to me that this is all coming out, and this poor soul here, he must have known something. He must have known something. So, is something happening? Somebody in the chat, nobody here now, has been very good at participating into the program today. Thank you so very much. Is there something connected to a deep impact? Is there something to do with talking about inventions that cause humanity, if you're hooked up to it, to replicate orbs in the sky? Did I say that? Oh, wait, wow. That's on another platform we talked about. That's something that's so insane, an invention they won't specify, that when connected to a human brain starts literally demonstrating orbs or light orbs in the sky, in the room, going through walls. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. I love all the beautiful people in there, too. There's some beautiful people in the chat. Some people with negative comments or positive. I love all of it. It's fun because welcome all walks of life to the channel. Visual Disturbance style on the Coffee Combo. So, mad world. Mad Max levels. Dudley Wickard. Excuse me. I've seen you. I butchered your screen name again. Dudley Wicker, 6116, mad world. It's almost Mad Max on steroids, absolutely. Like I said earlier, nobody's here. He or she, forgive me, doesn't specify the screen name, but nobody's here now. We have 18 months, question mark. I've heard that. I've heard that too. I've even heard that Insanity that's coming out with a four-letter agency down there in, let's just say Florida, is claiming that we are going to lose our gravitational pull. I think it's August the 12th. I think it's August the 12th, 2026. Talking about Project Anchor and talking about 7 seconds being floated up. And then there's a lot of people speculating online talking about the rapture and saying that the rapture is imminent and that's the day it's going to happen. After what was talked about last night and disclosed to the public, because the commander-in-chief said what he said and went national with it and global with it about the UFO disclosure program and these, narratives that are being held back from the American citizens. And like I said, I think it's directly tied back, speculative mindset here. I think the E-files and everything are directly tied back to something of such a sinister thing when you look at the Tartarian Empire. I think there's something back then that goes along with this. I think it's all tied together. Yes, it's interconnected. You can go down the rabbit holes. Yes, there's coordinated contracts. Yes, there's folks out there. Yes, there's individuals that have all these different things, patents and everything. Yes. It's all separated and segregated out. Yes, but it all leads to one path. And guess what? We're here deceived. We're in dis-ease. You feel me? We're in dis-ease right now. Dis-easing. And it's not easing. It's not easing off. The pedal's been pushed to the metal. And the tires are blowing out. And we're supposed to sit here and just act like nothing is happening. And that's what freaks me out more than anything. And that's right. It's all about Jesus for me. Fear controls. Fear not God is in control. Well, yes, excuse me. Fear not, God is in control. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Army lady, once again, if people really knew what was in the sky, that's exactly right. We talked about this just not too long ago when the astronomer, Beatrice, speaks about this specifically, talking about something that is in the airwaves. It's scary stuff. It's scary stuff indeed, but that's what I'm saying. Have no fear. The Creator is still here. Never leave you, forsake you. Like, you have a purpose of living. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have a purpose. But the world tells you that you're insignificant. And that is frustrating, is all get out. That has been done to me and individuals in the past. And those people, God bless you. No evil intention or wordplay with that. God bless you. Thank you for saying the things you say. It refines me. Thank you. This one's another one. It's interesting I had to throw this in here, exclude the time travel thing there. But time travel, on the X side of things, UFO spotted in Mexico, a 8K photo from newer gen phone. Is it CGI? Is it AI? Is it Nikola Tesla's product that hovered out in the 1920s and it shot out the window and manifested into its time travel mechanism? Is that what we're looking at here? Can we say it's legitimate? Can we say it's real? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And it's a little annoying. It almost looks like a trombone and something else with an old speaker from RCA that was mixed in with some type of calibrator from a car and maybe an exhaust pipe from a, 60-something Chevelle. What do you guys think? Mexico's been on the radar too. A lot of interesting stuff coming out of Mexico. Strange times. Strange times indeed. So, this one got me. I'm going to try to push this down here so I won't show the individual's name. Because privacy matters to me, folks, even in this day and age. And I'd be respectful toward individuals. I like their commentary here. Spoiler alert. UFOs exist, and there's advanced human technologies that manipulate space-time. We talked about that in 2019, I think. There was an individual that went to a college and literally said that we had the technology to travel and take somebody from, I don't know, from another country out east to out west here, the Americas here, and teleport in like 30 minutes. That's what they said. Like I said, is it hearsay? Is it legitimate? Is there people with credibility? I don't know. I wasn't there. I can only report on it and talk about it and speculate. This individual also goes on, we can't tap into the aether, the unlimited energy of the vacuum. We can. I said that on purpose. We can tap into the aether, the unlimited energy of the vacuum space. They use it to create gravity wells and open wormholes. Well, they proved that on Stargate SG-1 Atlantis and all these other shows. They've been putting it in our face 24/7. Here's one that goes back to the MH370 didn't disappear itself. If you know, you know. That's a good point. That goes back to the Manifest series. And then it's ironic that that plane was 828. And the whole cast is trying to change our reality with what they know. And guess what, folks? Guess what? Not trying to ruin anything, but apparently they died. And then they had a second chance when they got resurrected. And then hence have the ability to change things. It kind of makes you think about the E-Files, folks, and they said, use Project Looking Glass, to go back to 2020 and start altering things and messing with our time-space continuum. It's all hearsay, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Is it legitimate? Can we take it real? This is what I'm saying. This is the whole point of Coffee Combo today. Fragmented brains, turn to mush, use our, when I was talking about referring to the astronomer earlier, have some type of hard shell substance or something above that has a literally mathematical, something that's triumphant over humanity that has been there before we even supposedly was here. That's according to the account from the astronomer, talking about there's a hard surface with some type of geometric or like laced out land mind of orbs and spaceships above our heads. So take it for what it is, folks. That's what Miss Beatrice was talking about in her peer review report. We talked about that recently. So if you remember, we're going to talk about this but in the future, but I'm going to bring it back up. If you remember it was the three-letter agency. It was, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, July the 8th, 1947, talking about UFO phenomenon and talking about the three-letter agency that had these craft that miraculously just appeared out of nowhere, and they're contemplating on residing on the face of the earth, and they say they're not from our plane of existence and all this other stuff, and they're claiming to be interdimensional beings. And, you know, miraculously, they're tall, gigantic folks that are contemplating on living in our reality. So when I register all this together, and I think about tall and the manifestation back then of the three-letter agencies talking about the vibratory rate, and these things come from the Lockas and the Talls, and talking about Sheol, a dark place, and talking about things that they are not privy to our reality, but they want to stay here. You know, it's almost like the fallen angels, you know, when you talk about the Mount Hermon, you know, and you go think about what happened with the Watchers. It's almost like, hey, can I stay here? Can I set up shop at the local hotel or motel? Can I set up shop and defile you with this consciousness that I have? Because you're so easily to be manipulated. It didn't specify what in that three-letter agency in 1947, did not specify what, let's just say, nationality or of what they looked like. It just talked about they was large in stature, and they looked like humans, but they was large. Makes you think. Genesis 6, verse 4, giants in the earth in those days and also after that. Crazy times. Crazy times indeed. Maybe they're telling us something, folks. Maybe they're telling us something. Maybe there's a narrative. Maybe there's a narrative to where we can perceive our reality has been laid up in waste of foolishness. And you know what ultimately it does? Anybody out there that has followed me for a long period of time, if they defragment your brain enough to where they subject you to not believing in reality or saying that humans are bad and your creator's bad, well, guess what you got? You got a combo of collaboration to where the free will gets sent into limbo and things start rolling in and taking over. And before you know it, you would be disrupted and visually disturbed, and it'd be like the movie Body Snatchers if you're not too careful. Go look at Mark 5 in the biblical narrative, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Talking about Legion, talking about something spiritual, talking about those pigs that flew off the mountain. It's all documented, folks. Rob, coffee is a true gift from loving God. Hmm. Army Lady 74, it's all cloaked technology. That's why they're so adamant about certain frequencies and certain things when people build something, like, folks that are, have a little bit of a, more occupational stance, and they take literally, let's just say, iron and copper and certain things of elemental stuff underneath the ground, and they start making proton accelerators or building something that's a little bit above the average Joe pay grade, taking the computer and making it enhanced. Well, that's why they don't want you doing that, folks, because something's going to pop and drop. Something's going to show up in the gray stance. That's why you hear the speculation of the grays right now. It's either, I've heard this, folks, they've reached the singularity. It was the Atlanteans that transitioned their souls into cybernetic androids. Yes, folks, that is what they're saying on the airwaves. And the top officials are even talking about it. It makes you go, It makes you wonder. So, nothing new under the sun, Ecclesiastes said that, and how far will humans go? And how far will humans literally listen to this great deception that's supposed to come upon mankind, where these individuals and entities show up and they say, stop, drop, open up shop, here we go. We're the ancient 8 to 12 foot tallers. We're just a little taller than you guys, and we have dominated the lands, and we control you. We put you here. We're the ancient Anunnaki, whatever you want to say. And then meanwhile, we got us a creator that created us in our image, in his image, I mean, and we're supposed to do something. We're not supposed to be tribalistic or fighting or try to wish anything as far as evil intentions. We're supposed to be walking in truth, not walking in darkness. So welcome to 2026, where it's getting off the rails. And I like some of this other, Tim says, I film orbs around for me in years and had manifestations. One camera got off and go off and catched it. Okay. I hear you. Was Tesla technology used in the Philadelphia experiment? Do we have invisible capability alongside the teleportation capability? That's Craig Hayden. I'd have to agree with that. I have to say yes, because I've read too many documents. I'm not going to disclose those today. The coffee combo, because I don't have them pulled up for the, just the random coffee combo. It's on a hard drive somewhere, and it just closed location down there. I'm joking. But it is somewhere that I can't find a folder as my fingertips. So, yes, CRI, particle accelerator. Yes, that is correct. I said that earlier, proton accelerator, particle accelerator. Let's just face the facts. It's manipulation of the airwaves. Either way you want to look at it. They're looking at the frequency, the light refraction. Yes, DNA resonance. I get it. Okay. And when you throw some alternate particles into the mix, it shows you that things can be flipped over swoofy. I said swoofy. Welcome to Coffee Combo. Swiftly, and manipulation can be deployed 100%. But particle accelerators also, there's a ton of them all across the nation, all across the world. And I remember doing a program, I think it's 2014-ish. I think it was like 30,000. But I say now in 2026, I say there's like triple that or double that according to the quantum field and quantum entanglement theory. Crazy times. Crazy times. Thank you for subscribing, Jenny Johnson. Thank you also for the super chats earlier. We're just hanging out, drinking a little bit of coffee. I haven't even swigged my coffee for a minute. I've been sitting there having this delicious meal like it was literally not planned around my broadcast. It really wasn't. So we have to ask ourselves. We have to ask yourself a question here. Are we willing to give something up? Think about it. Are we willing to give in and give up something? That's my question. These things, these principalities, these powers that be that knows us from back in the day. They've been mapping us. Let's just face the folks. Let's just face it. There's congressional hearings talking about this. There's they can go back 10 generations and look and monitor our folks from back in the day. They can say that they didn't have satellites until what 1950, whatever the time it is. But that Black Knight satellite with Valiant Thor says something totally different. So if the claims are correct and they're legitimate, and there's some validation there that if they can go back and look at 10 generations back and map out everything, well, folks, wake up to the reality. Not as things are what they seem. Genesis 6 is screaming off the page. Noah 2.0 is screaming off the page. And it's time, when you think about armor, a lot of people's like, well, we'll get our Knights of the Round Table, the Knights of the Templar, and have some type of armor or some type of exoskeleton, carbon fiber, whatever. No. It's called spiritual armor. A lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are not being deceived. Look around. The deception's real. But do you choose to receive it that way, or do you think that it's all complete shock and you're in pandemonium time and you know everything is all lost? Well, if we do go down that road and we give in to this feeling of fear and resentment toward folks and hatred toward folks, that's exactly what the enemy wants. Disruption, tearing down of the mind, fragmenting your time and space, irritating your soul, giving up something so the soul can go on its merry way, so to speak. And then there's that temple being inhabited by something when you look at the Mark 5 event in the scriptures when it comes to biblical stance. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Bless you and thank you. Literally love you, Brian. Bless you so very much. And thank you for that great comment. God bless you too. Die daily and carry your cross and keep his commandments. I'm just going to post something out there, folks. That whole blood post story, a little speculation here, and forgive me, I'm not trying to add or take away from the biblical narrative. A lot of people get very upset with that, and I agree 100%. But ever thought about the blood post? Not only was it ordained by God for them to do that, and the Pharaoh of old, back then was not really privy of what was going to happen, and God had a trick. But the blood on the blood post, something came in the skies and started doing something nefarious back then. And I asked myself, when you catch up to scientifically data, we're talking about bovine blood and DNA, and we welcome to 2026, it makes you wonder. Put this certain blood on this post, this doorway protecting the young ones. Makes you wonder, makes you speculate when you think about ancient antiquity and the women and children be taken. And then not only to mention, there's individuals out there that's the higher stature with ufologists out there, UFO disclosure, claiming that we have the technology to take you somewhere while you don't even know it. And that is supposedly tied with the Great Decree, insanity in the membrane. Makes you think. Makes you think. So, let me see if there's any more cool. Well, there's a bunch of cool people here. Thank you all so very much for being here. Let me see. PC user, it's good seeing you. You are always excited. Thank you. Listen, I'm just some dude that has to endure a lot of things and overcome things, and had a lot of time to think. Even the last 20 years, well, yeah, give or take, since 2008, 2007-ish, I have been thinking a lot. And in 2019, I've been thinking way a lot. Down the rabbit hole without Bugs Bunny and the quantum field entanglement, I have been on a journey of understanding and trying to search for truth. But 2007-ish, 2008, it was full-blown going down the disclosure stance back then, talking about UFOs and UAPs and everything, when I was literally out in the let's just say out in the wilderness, out in the wild, and people really look at me and say that I was a complete kook. So look at us now. Not boasting, not bragging, not saying anything offensive toward anybody whatsoever, because guess what? Your heart. When you start showing that evil intentions of standoffish and arrogancy, it doesn't resonate. It doesn't go good. I hear the word all the time in my mind. It's like empathetic, an empathetic heart. And there's days where I'm just like angry with so many things. But then I ask myself, should I get in this state of mind and tear this down and tear this down? Because do I want to curse God and say, why? Why has this all happened to me? Well, go look at the book of Job. It's a very good book. Good old book in the biblical narrative. Job endured so much. And it's time for us to endure. And endure sound mindset, sound doctrine. You hear all the terms all the time. Build your mind up. Have that armor. Focus. Focus on spiritual applications. Have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Don't be sitting here and be cognitively dissonant on the reality of our welcome to 2026 world. That's my point. Hugs and love to all my brothers and sisters. Big ERN 234554. Come on back now. Glad to see you. Much love indeed. Just Jules again, thank you so very much. You've been hitting up all these live streams all the time. Thank you so very much. Some moments get tough only because my hubby... I don't want to share that. Excuse me. Forgive me. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be very respectful towards you because you're commenting to another one. Forgive me. Forgive me. I'll be in prayer for you. Wilford says, are they going to disclose Bigfoot? Well, listen, folks, this is just popping off too recently, that the three-letter agencies admit that there was literally a wizard that actually conjured up a Bigfoot in its, I guess, living room, put a pentagram down and watch it flow, and watch a hairy man appear like Chewbacca. No joke. A question I have out here, folks, just real quick. The Wizard of old and the Jambries and all these characters of old back in the days of Moses with Pharaoh and the serpent and the creating the staff and everything. What is going to happen when AI gets a hold of that? Think about it. AI is ancient. AI is old. AI is of the old days, reformulated, and there's nothing new under the sun. If there's an iron dome above our heads with some type of ancient alien Nephilim cage-like prison planet technology with the Black Knight satellite directing airways, humming frequencies up and down and all around and manipulating the livestock and the animal life on top of the face of the earth, what do you think? If that stuff is going back to ancient antiquity days and it's electronic, it's technology, oh, well, wake up to the sci-fi world. It's been going on for a lot longer than we can even perceive. Well, it's time to wake up, folks. Can't be driven by manipulation of the human constructs. That time's got to go. That's got to go. Human constructs have got to go. Because there's things of antiquity that are tearing down our world and making us literally foolish in our mindset. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Some more breaking news just to throw us in here for the coffee combo, because I got to go here in a minute. I got to go in just a few minutes, but hey, thank you all so very much for being here. Check this out. Snowstorm alert. We just talked about this recently, talking about UFOs and maybe the connection with, weather phenomenon and tying that all in. And the powers that be, the tornadic, the fire tornadoes, whatever type of thing you want to throw at it. Well, according to the account, snowstorm alert, a powerful nor'easter is developing as expected to bring heavy snowfall to much of the Northeast on Sunday and Monday. Well, big shout out to Mr. Dan out there. He's got all kinds of snow and everything else over there in the Rhode Island area. And you got to think, once again, what's going on? What the heck is going on? Seriously. And I've got to mention this Let me find it real quick. It was in some of the notes here. I will find it very quickly. 1 second. If I can find, yes, I can. This one's interesting. This individual on Twitter is well known, and I'm going to give a big shout out to him, Red Panda Koala. Look at this, folks. Speaking of Iran and all that, do you remember this congressman here? I'm not going to say any names, but remember when the congressman said that the New Jersey mystery drones were coming from Iranian mothership? And if you look that up, and Edgar Casey was talking about, I'm not kidding you, Edgar Casey was a clairvoyant and a psychic, and I'm not joking, you guys. I don't have any of this information in front of me. I'm not sitting here reading off a teleprompter or anything. I'm just going off full-blown left and right lobe brain activity, what's left of it. And the mothership, according to Edgar Casey, it also refers to the halls of Amity. I didn't say that right. Joking. Edgar Casey. 1 second. I got to get a cup of drink of water. Because I almost started busting up laughing. Nothing against Edgar Casey. The Akashic Records. Iranian mothership. Mothership means Akashic Records. And I thought it was interesting. The Iranian ships, literally not too long ago, this New Jersey mystery, just it was just like a year or so ago. There's some type of mothership that's out there, and then literally it's right after, the whole thing that's going on, the speculative mindset of a spot or crack or crevice that Iran has some type of interdimensional time, space, continuum, Stargate, whatever you want to throw into it. I wonder if that's what Mr. T and everybody's out there trying to figure out what's going on, sinking the battleship, okay? So it's kind of ironic that this happened, and speaking of Halls of Amity, that's a whole nother thing with a whole nother broadcast of Coffee Combo, but when you're hidden behind the veil and you have secret knowledge that goes back to the ancient antiquity of fallen angels, or, the Greys, or whatever you want to throw in there with a portal stance, crazy times, folks, right? So just hinting around that the Iranian stuff and the Iran, I said Iranian, but Iran, there's some type of mothership out there. There must be still a mothership that's hiding under the secret Water Aqua Life Atlantean ancient base. Silliness, right? Pure silliness. No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Let's say that's legitimate. Let's say it's legitimate. Let's say it is. So, I'm going to say this before we conclude, and I'm going to throw up the chat real quick so everybody can see each other there, and I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. What the heck is going on, folks? Really, what is going on? God bless, Brian. You always fun and a riot and informative. Thank you. I'm just that good old boy from the hollers of Kentucky where the bluegrass grows, and now it's green, and put your green light bulb in the socket. Anybody that's from Kentucky gets my humor. Just because, excuse me, as I choke on that one, just because he says or she says to put a socket, an emerald bulb in your socket. I really am choking, folks. Well, it might be time to get off here. But yeah. Anyways, out there, folks. Anyways, out there in the airwaves, I'm trying to watch and look at the chat, see I didn't miss anybody. A big shout out to all you guys. Oh, Johnny Kirk. Listen to this. So, John, you got me on this one, my friend. Johnny Kirk, you're always engaging and everything, and forgive me for not getting back to your messages. Johnny Kirk asks a really, really cool question, okay? I'm going to throw some. I'm going to try to see if I can zoom it in. Johnny Kirk, Brian, do you have an evacuation plan for you and your family when it's time to go? Well, it depends on how you say it and how you articulate it. I'm not going to give that up, but I will tell you something right now. If the Native Americans migrated to the ancient, let's just say, tunnel systems, don't think that I've not looked at topography and maps around this good old state. And there's things that make you go, And the cultures of the day, back in the day, had to go because there's cataclysms on the face of the earth. And 55 degrees pretty much all year round when you go into the cave systems. And if you can go into the good old state of Kentucky and look at a little bit of information, there's cave tunnel systems everywhere. And people just don't know. So if they go back into the ancient days and hide out there, And you can go look this up too. The Native Americans have literally talked about it in folklore and documented informative information talking about there was creatures and giants in the earth in those days and talking about something that lived underneath the ground. And guess what? Folks would be like, hey, why, Brian, why are you even thinking about or speculating about going to the tunnels? Disruption of the frequencies. Caves are too far deep under the ground. Once you go to a certain amount of elevation, go down. I said elevation. Lower into the earth you go, the frequencies are not as strong on the face of the earth. So, Johnny Kirk, hope that answers your question. But yeah, it makes you go, we're not humming. But apparently there's people out there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And let me know if you guys have experienced the humming and the noise in your ears and causing cognitive ability or whatever it is. Please let me know. I'm really coming at it. It's not a scoffer or make fun of anybody, what shape or form, because guess what, folks? People come on here and make fun of me. And like I said all the time, if I had a way to be able to make a mass production of rugs with my logo and my name on it, y'all could just tread on my name or my logo all day long and like a doormat. Sarcasm and entertainment purposes only for that sarcastic remark. But I just want to thank y'all so very much for being here. Bill O'Connell says, maybe the Frost Giants pull out a Stargate and Greenland and claim Greenland for the Nephilim. Uh-huh. That's a little controversial. Yeah, but anyways, what do you think if the huge weather device that was revealed in itself in Greenland? Well, they're all coming out. The congressman is saying, hey, there's ancient places that are literally covered up by tourist attractions and everything, and recreational buildings. And I can tell you right now, guys, I said this 3 or 4 years ago, that the Indian mounds and everything, and there's always something that they put over top of it to cover up the things of antiquity. And now we got some higher ups saying it online and saying it all across the media. And there's things that are in our areas, pyramids and everything that's in Kentucky that are covered up through way back in the day, several hundreds of feet under the ground. And there's magnetic field, magnetic anomalies, and we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs and twiddling our fingers and saying this stuff is not legitimate. And that's what I got to say about that. So Greenland is a ticking time bomb of information when it comes to weather manipulation, an ancient UFO Vimana. But other than that, gotta go. Keep it fresh, keep it real. Coffee Convo radio show. Thank y'all so very much for interacting and engaging with me today. And if you're very upset and in disarray with the reality, I will pray for you abundantly. So hit me up in the comments below. And I really do hope that you guys have a beautiful Friday. And it's time to go. Coffee Convo. What a show. Even got to fine dining, if you got to fine dine like I did during this broadcast and actually get your favorite cup of coffee. Honey is a good thing it's a substitute for sugar. I would actually suggest that. Honey is good for the body. So with that being said, folks, keep it fresh, keep it real. Woo! There's some people in the chat, and stay away from the happy, you know what. But Visual Disturbance, I am out of here. Subscribe, share this thing out. Thank you all so much for engaging. I wish we had more time, but I gotta go. But I will see you on the next show. Be of good cheer. The Visual Disturbance world is here. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody. Thank you all so very much for being a part of Visual Disturbance. Subscribe, share this thing out. See you on the next one. God bless. Thank you, guys. Watch out for the aliens. Watch out for the tall white aliens. Watch out for everything. See you on the next one.